Hello everyone, my name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about Island of the Blue Dolphins, written by Scott Odell. Now, before I go into the summary and analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. In this novel, we meet a girl by the name of Corona. I feel like I might call her Corona during this video, but her name is Corona. So we meet Karana on the island, and she's living a normal life, and she's in this tribe where where her father is the leader, the chief of the tribe, and everything is normal. Everyone is leading a normal life. We learn that Karana has a little brother, and her mother died before the book begins. In this tribe, they have gender norms. There's certain jobs that women do and certain jobs that men do. The men are responsible for hunting and creating weapons, and the women are pretty much the gatherers, the individuals that take care of the camp, basically. So it's a hunter gatherer society, and everything is normal and everything is as you would expect it. The thing that happens that changes everything is that a new group comes onto the island to hunt, and they're named the Aleuts. And the Aleuts are there to hunt otter for fur because they're gonna use the fur for clothes and to keep them warm and to keep them warm. And Piranha's father makes a deal with the Aleuts that he'll let them hunt on the island as long as they split half of what they capture with the tribe. And they agree to this, and the Aleuts, they go off, they hunt, and they capture all the otter that they can. And then when it comes time for them to pay up, they won't pay up, and a battle ensues, and a lot of men in Karana's tribe, they die. And a lot of Aleuts die, but pretty much what happens is the Aleuts, they run away, they take a lot of otter, they run away, and they leave a lot of people, a lot of men specifically in Karana's tribe dead. And so the Aleuts are gone. They leave a dog by the name of Rontu on the island, which becomes important. He becomes very important later in the novel. But pretty much the island is in bad shape. There was a huge battle. A lot of people died, and this is not a big tribe. Karana is not in a big tribe, and so they have to form a new leadership. And pretty much what they decide is that the tribe is going to leave the island. They don't feel like they're safe, and they feel like if the Aleuts come back, they're pretty much going to be killed. So they decide to leave the island basically, and what happens is when everybody packs onto a ship and they're prepared to leave, Grana realizes that her brother is still on the island. Her little brother is still on the island, and he missed the ship. He wasn't on it, and so what she does is she dives into the sea and just swims back to the island to be with her brother, and she expects the ship to come back for them at some point. So there's nobody left on the island. The Aleuts are gone. The tribe leaves because of safety and because they feel like they were going to die if the Aleuts come back. And so it's just her and her brother, and they have to survive together. What happens that makes everything worse is that a pack of wild dogs kill Karana's brother, and she's left by herself. And so the rest of the novel, we kind of get this picture of Karana hunting. She's creating weapons, which it's very different because there's a lot of jobs that women are not supposed to do within this tribe. But because of the fact that Karana is by herself and she has to fend for herself, feed herself, clothe herself, and create shelter for herself, there's no gender specific tasks anymore. You just have to survive. When it's just you against nature, you just have to do all the things that you can to survive. So she can't say no, I'm not going to make weapons, because if she doesn't make weapons, she's going to die because she needs weapons to hunt and to build things. And so the idea that certain tasks are gender specific, it's just not true. Our society has built this idea that men do certain jobs and women do certain jobs, but it's not true. If it comes down to it, individuals have to do certain jobs to survive, and that's what Karana does. She creates what she needs to survive. She clothes herself, she feeds herself, and she gets revenge on the wild dogs for killing her brother. And then later she befriends Rantu. That pretty much Rantu's this Aleut dog that kind of becomes her friend, where they stay together, they hunt together, they feed together, and they're just the best friends. And eventually, what happens is Rantu dies on the island because Karana spends a long time on this island by herself, and she kind of grows up by herself. And within the novel, she tries to leave the island. She tries to build a canoe for her to get off the island. But what happens is it water starts to get in. It pretty much sinks, and she swims back to the island. And so it's a very sad life. She's a woman. She, on the island by herself. She becomes to be at the age. She comes to be the age where she would probably get married or have a family or just grow up or be an adult or be a valid member of her tribe. But since she's by herself, she's alone. She has no one to talk to. She doesn't have her brother. Her father's dead. Her mother's dead. Everyone in her family is gone. And at the end of the novel, what we basically get is just Piranha by herself, just alone. And for human beings, being alone for so long is just something that's it's very hard to do. It's something that humans can't take loneliness. And basically, what happens at the end of the novel is that she gets rescued by a group of missionaries, and they tell her that her tribe died a long time ago because their ship was wrecked and they died at sea. And that's pretty much how the novel ends. So Karana is pretty much the only living member of the tribe left. Everybody else died, and it's a very sad thing. In terms of analysis, in terms of the significant parts and meaning within this novel, one thing to look at is gender norms. At a certain point within the novel, you kind of see that gender norms are very important. That the men were expected to do certain jobs, and the women were expected to do certain jobs. And when anybody crossed those lines, there would be problems within the novel. But when we see that Karana, she handles those tasks without any problems. The tasks that men did, the tasks that women did, she did all of them, and she survived, and the world didn't end because of it. So you kind of see gender equality, a message of gender equality within this novel, that women can do anything that men can do. So the idea that there's just specific fundamental jobs for men and men only, it's just not true. um, the other thing that you can see within this novel that's very significant from my perspective is kind of like certain sometimes you do certain things or certain things happen you think that are a mistake, and they end up not being mistakes, because if Karana did end up leaving with her tribe on that first ship, she probably would have died. She would have died at sea with them. But the fact that she's still on the island to save her brother, to help her brother, she saved herself from dying, and she's the only survivor, the only person that survives the battle with the Aleuts, with the shipwreck and the wild dogs. And so at the end of the novel, I guess we somehow get a sort of happy ending that she survives, but at the same time, how can you really be happy when you've lost everything? You've lost your tribe. But Karana, she was happy in her tribe. Everybody was happy on the island. They had living. They had a society that everybody was happy to be in and to live in. But she lost all of that to the Aleuts and people coming into the island to change it. So from this in this book, you kind of get a perspective of how when colonizers and imperialists go into different islands and go into different countries to take over and to take advantage of indigenous people, you kind of see how horrific and how problematic it can be, because the Aleuts pretty much ruined the island and ruined the society of this tribe. Because if it wasn't for them coming to hunt otter, and if it wasn't for them intruding on their lives, the trial would have been fine and they could have continued for generations upon generations. So that's my summary and analysis of this novel. Please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.